Hello, everyone. Dr. Forrest Sauer here. And today I'm going to be breaking down a little case study of a client of ours who has been struggling with small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, or otherwise more commonly known as SIBO. Now, her symptoms, she's a little bit information about this individual. She was actually younger than most of our clients. She's 27 years old, so not very old at all to be having some of the health challenges that she was experiencing, which were bad breath. No matter how much mouthwash she gargled or how many times she brushed her teeth, it was bad breath. And she had bloating. That was really her main symptom, was the painful bloating happening inside of her gut. And she was trying the probiotics, she was trying apple cider vinegar, really anything and everything to feel better, but she just wasn't getting the results that she was looking for. She was being tossed around by a bunch of different doctors and gastroenterologists. She'd been struggling for about 2 years, which is way longer than she needs to suffer with, especially with something like SIBO going on. And so what we did is, because she was sick and tired of being sick and tired, what we did first is we need to first bring her through a detoxification phase. And basically, what that means is we need to build a strong foundation for her body to allow her body to get rid of the toxins. You've seen a lot of SIBO clients. What we have found is that there's two main phases of detoxification: there's phase one and there's phase two. And phase one is when you get the toxins out of the fat cells into the bloodstream. Woohoo! That's great. That's what you want to do. But also, and just as important, is getting those toxins from the bloodstream out of the body. That is phase two. And what we find with a lot of clients where their gut's a mess, or they have heartburn, or bloating, or constipation, or diarrhea, it's actually that phase two that's broken, which is why so many clients feel stuck, like they're on a vicious cycle trying to fix the whole thing, but they can't, because they can't actually get the toxins out of the body. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So we went through and we detoxed the body, set a strong foundation, started fixing the phase two detoxification. So now her bodies can get rid of the crap. And then we took a stool sample, because we need to look at her poop. We need to figure out why she had SIBO in the first place. So I'm going to walk through her results, and then I'm going to walk through the exact protocol that we're going to use with her, so that way we can actually fix the root cause of the problem. And if you guys enjoy streams like this, if you enjoy client breakdowns, be the first one to comment. I'm just starting on this journey as someone who's creating content to help people. So be the first to comment if you enjoy this breakdown. If you don't enjoy this breakdown, also let me know in the comments, because then I will stop wasting your time. Walk you through exactly what the stool sample that we did. Now, this is called a GI map from diagnostics, and it's the one that we utilize because it just tests for so many different pathogens, parasites, viruses, bacteria. It really gives us a wonderful overlay of how the entire body is doing. So first off, with pathogens, we tested for the bacterial pathogens, stuff like C. difficile, E. coli, salmonella. We tested for all of those. Pathogens, parasitic infections, and viral pathogens. As you can see, the results here, there's no, she doesn't have any of those results. So thank goodness she doesn't have any of those problems. We get to move on to the next page. This is where we actually see a problem starting with her H. pylori. So this is where a lot of the gut issues start. And I realize that my picture is actually covering up. Okay. It's covering up the bottom portion here, but we'll go ahead and keep going. So with the H. pylori, actually 50% of the world's populations have H. pylori. We certainly see it in a lot of our clients that we help, and it is a very under-addressed problem that we're seeing in our clientele. So you can see that her results did come back high. And this is oftentimes one of the major infections that we have to address in individuals. Excuse me. I swear I drank my coffee this morning and I just got to bed late last night, but here we go. Irritable bowel syndrome. So the symptoms that you're going to have from an H. pylori infection is IBS, abdominal abdominal pain, not abdominal, abdominal pain, stomach pain, nausea, vomiting, ulcers if they get really bad, and so it can create a lot of these problems. Remember, her initial challenge was SIBO, and so H. pylori alone can cause SIBO to occur once it starts getting high, like it is in this individual. Next, moving on, we have other bacteria that we also tested for. We tested for the keystone bacteria. We tested for something called Enterobacter. We tested for Fasciculobacterium, Bacteroidetes, and Firmicutes. And basically, all of these bacteria mean and impact the gut and the body in a different way. Specifically, with the Enterobacter, it is at high levels, like you see in this individual. It will increase intestinal inflammatory activity. So remember, her major challenge was bloating. This Enterobacter bacteria is telling us that, yes, there's a lot of inflammation going on. When this bacteria is out of balance, it will cause the bloat to occur. So this might be one of her problems, and it's very rarely just simply one big problem. There's usually many different situations or many different causes of the bloating to occur. Now, the next one is the Facilobacterium. It's widely recognized as an important keystone species. It promotes anti-inflammatory processes, which means it is anti-inflammatory. Well, you can look at where it's at. This is actually very low. So not only do you have a bacteria that is very high that causes inflammation, you also have a bacteria that decreases inflammation, and that's not working either. So it's like you got this, the worst of both worlds. You got lots of inflammation. You got a bacteria that's causing lots of inflammation, and the bacteria that would help with inflammation is very low. So it's not working at all. And when you see the Facilobacterium very low, that actually increases the risk of autoimmune conditions in the future. So it's a wide range of autoimmune inflammatory conditions that can occur because of that. So if you like stuff like this, breaking down really what's happening inside of the body, let me know in the comments. We're just getting started here as far as trying to educate you clients on educate people on how to make chronic conditions optional. And if you like this, great. If not, also let me know. I want to know if you hate this, because then I'll stop making it. I ultimately want this to be a benefit to you. That's why I'm doing it. So next, moving on, another page of what we tested for with the stool sample was something called keystone bacteria. And these keystone bacteria are like the foundation for your gut health. And you can see, like, she is lit up like a Christmas tree, and it gets worse as we go on. A lot of her bacteria are out of balance. And you can see here, you can pause the video if you want to look at this specifically, but basically having the Enterobacter being high. I'm sorry. Let's go down here. We're down here now with the Bacteroidetes and the Firmicutes. These specifically break down carbohydrates, and they produce butyrate, acetate, and propionate. Propionate. Sorry. When these are high like this, it will cause a leaky gut to occur. So not only does she have lots of inflammation going on in her gut, but she has lots of short chain fatty acids that are not being produced, causing her leaky gut to become worse. That's what the bacteriophylla are telling us. Again, like I said, it gets worse. This is all of her bacteria. This is all of her overgrowth microbes. You can pause and read this here, but basically it's saying, hey, if this bacteria is going to be off, it is going to cause SIBO, constipation, cramping. It'll also cause diarrhea. So for those of you that have struggled with bacteria or with diarrhea and constipation at the same time, like in the same day or maybe the same week, this is most likely going on with you as well, where you have just an overgrowth of opportunistic microbes in your gut wreaking havoc everywhere. And it's indicating very, very low intestinal health, obviously, because there's a lot of chronic conditions going on. We also did test for parasites. I know parasites are all the rage right now. Listen, we do lots of stool samples. We rarely see parasites in our clients. So this, like it truly is a phase on where people are with their parasitic thought process. It just simply doesn't occur as often as you think it does. Last thing, or wrapping up here with her intestinal health markers, is we looked at her elastase as well. Her elastase was very low. And this is exclusively produced by the pancreas. So, with the pancreas, it is not just simply going to release digestive enzymes for short chain fatty acids, it also helps out with insulin to release insulin to help balance out blood sugar. So, a lot of people who struggle with blood sugar balance, maybe they're insulin resistant, pre diabetic, or diabetic, you're also going to have a problem with your digestion because the same organ produces both insulin and digestive enzymes. And to top it off, her this individual's it was a girl, it's a young, like I said, 28-year-old female. She has something called secretory IgA, which is very low, and this is your immune system. So your 80% of your immune system is located in your gut. And as you can see with this individual, her immune system is compromised. It is extremely low in her gut, meaning she's going to be sick more often. She's not killing off bacteria or viral infections that sneak in through her food. She is going to be the first one sick, last one to get better, poor wound healing, all because her immune system is honestly exhausted because of the stress that she is going under. So here's the exact protocol. You can go ahead and get a screenshot of this. Let me walk you through this. We are this is a 2-month supply protocol for H. pylori specifically. Instead of what we have found to be most effective, instead of trying to focus on like every single one of these bacterial infections, let's focus on the big one, and we're going to be able to get a lot of birds with simply one stone. That's why this works. And so with H. pylori, we start off with a product called Pylorostat. Actually, that is out of stock recently. So we're trying to find out a great supplement for that. The active ingredient in the Pylorostat is the mastic gum. So you can go ahead and look for mastic gum to help kill your H. pylori infection while these guys are out of stock. So this is 2 bottles for 2 months supply. The product is called Pylorostat. It's from a company called Nutridyne. And this is the reason that we have clients start on that. And this is the dosage that we have them do on a daily basis. I cannot recommend this for you specifically because everybody's situation is different. So use at your own risk or benefit. The decisions that you make for yourself are entirely on your shoulders. If you want help with this, there is, I believe, a link where you can talk to our clinic one-on-one. But so with that disclaimer said, the other ingredient that we do like to start off with is something called sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is an amazing ingredient that helps out with that phase 2 detoxification process. So remember that topic that we start off with phase 1, phase 2 detoxification. I don't just simply want to kill the H. pylori. I want to get it out of the body. So that's why we need to we need to supplement with sulforaphane to help the toxic, dead, and dying H. pylori bugs out of the body. A probiotic, I like Saccharomyces boulardii. That's what the SB stands for. And then also spore-based probiotics. They make it past the stomach acid. Most probiotics get killed by the stomach acid because it is extremely acidic. So that's a great way to get an effective probiotic into the body. And then also the immune system. Remember, her immune system wasn't working very well at all with the IgA. And this is a supplement I don't hardly see anybody talk about, but it is an immunoglobulin for your gut to help strengthen the immune system and take care of the hidden infections. Remember, 80% of your gut health, of your immune system is located in your gut. And so this is a great way to help support the immune system with immunoglobulins in the gut. So I hope that was helpful. It was a very quick and brief breakdown, really, of an individual who's struggling with bloating and SIBO like symptoms and really had not gotten results elsewhere. And so her body is slowly recovering. She is noticing improvements because of not just simply the dietary and lifestyle changes that we're helping her walk through, but also because we're fixing the root cause. We're doing the proper testing so that way there are no more guessing games. Like I said, if you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I'll be chatting with you soon. My name is Dr. Forrest Sauer. Talk soon. Bye.